everyone, Eve from British Garden Centres here, and it is a very dull May spring day today, so I have got the perfect rainy day gardening activity for you, and that is to create your own mini garden in a terrarium. Making your own terrarium is a fun and creative indoor gardening activity. Terrariums are groups of plants that are housed in glass containers that are very aesthetically pleasing. They work really well indoors on a windowsill or on a coffee table, or this is going on my desk. You can buy already planted up terrariums from one of our garden centres, or today you can join me in making an open terrarium. These are a lot easier to plant and to care for in the long term as opposed to closed terrariums. So to make your terrarium, you will need some sort of glass container. You can get all different shapes and sizes. You will need a houseplant potting mix. I have gone for this one from Westland, which is absolutely perfect. You will need some horticultural grit. Not only does this look aesthetically pleasing, but it also helps with drainage in your terrarium. You will need any decorative accessories. I've used these pebbles here, or you can get moss or bark. And finally, of course, you will need some terrarium style plants. So I have gone for some small house plants and succulents. So let's get into how I made this terrarium. I'm going to create a layer effect in the bottom of my terrarium, so I'm starting with an equal mix of horticultural grit and soil, and this is going to be 1 or 2 inches thick. I'm firming that down so that when I look at the terrarium, it's got some neat lines going around the outside. Then I'm going to do my layer of horticultural grit, great for drainage and it looks good too, and finishing off for now with a layer of this Westland houseplant potting mix, and this is what my succulents and plants are going to initially sit in. So I'm just going to make sure that that's all level, because you want your terrarium to look really good from the outside too. So I'm just firming that down with my hand and making sure that I've put enough compost in. And next it's time to start planting. So I have gone for a mix of small house plants and succulents. So I'm starting off with this little plant and I'm going to gently tip it out of its pot, and then I'm going to remove some of the excess soil from the roots. I've made a little hole in the soil in my terrarium and I'm going to gently lower this in. It can be fiddly to plant up a terrarium, especially with a tall glass container like mine, so a bit of patience goes a long way, and I'm doing the same again for the other plants that I've picked. So these little succulents, again, making a little hole, lowering them in, and then it's really important to firm them in so that they don't topple over. So I'm adding these 2 plants at the back, and then I've gone for some smaller, low-growing succulents to add to the front of my terrarium. Once they're all planted, I'm going to make sure they're all firmed in, and then it's time to top with some horticultural grit. So this will be my final layer, and it's going to make sure that when I water it, none of the soil is going to splash up onto my plants, and it looks really good too. You can see there you've got all of the layers. Now to water my terrarium, I'm using a teaspoon, tipping the water onto that and then lowering it into the terrarium. It's just a lot easier that way, and you're not splashing all of the glass. And that is my terrarium planted, and all that's left to do now is to add any accessories. So I have gone for some nice pebbles to add into mine, just to add a bit of extra interest and making it more look like its own little garden. And that is it. My terrarium is complete and I'm really happy, and this is going to be the perfect addition to my desk. I hope that this video has inspired you to create or go out and get a terrarium of your own. They are the perfect little miniature garden to have in your home, and in terms of aftercare, they are very low maintenance. Your open terrarium will want to be placed somewhere that's nice and bright and has full or partial sun. If your plants start to grow leggy and are growing really long and thin and they look a bit weak, that means they're not getting enough light, so make sure to place it somewhere nice and bright. Your open terrarium will need watering weekly. You can use a little teaspoon like I did to do this easier. And the best thing about terrariums is you can see the compost and what's going on underneath the soil. So if it's looking a bit wet, just leave off the watering for a bit. In the winter, your terrarium will not grow as rapidly, so you can water this every 6 weeks instead of weekly. And that's it. If you'd like to shop any of the products seen in this video, then you can nip into your local British garden centre, or you can shop online on our website. And to see more content like this, then make sure to follow us on our social media channels and make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos. Thank you for watching, everyone. See you next time.